my drive as a young child growing up through high school and into college was to not let my parents down. And I just never wanted to let them down. So I was fueled by that drive and that motivation to succeed. And the other thing was, I looked around. We came from nothing, really. We were very lower middle class. My father owned a plumbing business, worked really hard. I saw other people with bigger homes and nicer cars and greater clothes and never wanting for anything and taking vacations.
Yeah.
So I wanted to do that, and that all drove me, and it's worked out so far so good.
Well, what cracks me up, and this is a story you told me a while back. It's so funny. You know, you've built and you own some multi-million-dollar properties, some beautiful properties. But the first one you did, you said, you know, Mark, I'm going to own this property. You told me you're going to own this property. You had no money. You had no way of, you had no idea how you're going to get the money. Right. You went there, you put it under contract, no idea where the financing was going to come from, and built this multi-million-dollar home. You know, what created that belief? What made you think, you know what, I can do this? Where'd that come from?
I've always surrounded myself with successful people.
Right.
You can choose the people that you hang around with. And
most product of your environment, right?
Yep, product of your environment. And I met a gentleman, his name's Bob Proctor, no relation to Craig Proctor,
right.
But he told me that decisions come first and reasons come second. And if you decide, if you truly are passionate, you want to make something happen, decide to do it. And he told me to go tie up this property, and I did, having no idea how I was going to fund it or pay for it. Yeah. And we managed it. It was a long way to the finish line, but we managed to make it happen.
Beautiful property.
Decisions come first.
Yeah. Oh. Actually, Jennfier, I want to start with you, but I want to go to a break here in a second. But you've built, you know, Compliments International into a great business. But, you know, how do you keep that millionaire mentality stoked? We talked about, you know, you want to be able to give back, but you come to work every day. Is it creating new products, looking for new territories? How do you keep that millionaire mentality stoked?
The ability to change frequently.
Yeah.
In corporate America, you kind of get stuck in your own area and you have to continue to develop. I have the opportunity to look at 100 different businesses every single month. From
as a web designer?
Yeah, as a web designer. So.
Actually, I cut you right off here. We'll be back in 2 seconds. Welcome back, everybody. We're finishing up with Jennfier Bagley here. And Jennfier, I guess, let me rephrase that question. You know, because you're in a very competitive environment. You do SEO, you do web design, very competitive environment, and we can't close every sale. We know that. So for the viewers out there who get frustrated if they can't close a sale, how do you overcome that? Let's say you lose a sale. What mentality do you keep to let you say, you know what, there's going to be another one? How do you deal with that? Next.
Yeah, in a big way. I mean, in our business, I'm not going to drag anybody through the trenches. They either understand that there's no avoiding technology, that they're not going to avoid having to contribute to social media marketing, that they're going to have a plan. Right. If they don't understand what we do, which is quite frequent, a lot of times people come, they want a website, they don't understand that it's a bigger process than that. I'm not going to build garbage. Right. I just refuse to do it. So a lot of times it's our choice that we choose not to deal with certain clients. Absolutely. And I think that's much more important, you know, for any entrepreneur. Dealing with the wrong clients is more harmful for your business than trying to get a deal just to get a deal. So I'd prefer not to have to drag people through that process. Those people that come to the table, they understand what we do, they understand social media marketing, they understand SEO, and they have to compete in this world. Our kids are going to stomp our tails.
Right for you.
They're just not. Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm going to throw this back to you, and Brian, I definitely want to hear your take on this one as well, because I like to tell people that 3% of all entrepreneurs, they write down their goals. The other 97% work for them. Am I right? Let me start
100%.
with you. Are you a big goal-oriented person?
I know where I'm going, and I have specific goals. However, I'm not going to spend months and months planning. I'm going to execute. Yeah. So most of the time, it's very easy for me to make a decision and figure out what the plan's going to be, how to put it together, and how to execute it. But I do spend much more time executing than analyzing. Yeah. In a big way.
Brian, I know you're very goal-oriented.
Yeah, I agree with Jennfier that, you know, there's that saying, paralysis by analysis. You have a goal, but you have to have a goal. You have to know what it is that you want to accomplish.
Written down, though, right?
Absolutely.
Looking at it every day, affirmations?
Yes, I'm a big believer in that. Especially, you know, when you're starting out. You know, it's like if you were getting in a car and you wanted to go somewhere. Right. You need to know where you want to go before you can start executing.
Plan, right.
So definitely you must have goals. And, and if I could just add, make them big. Okay, if you're going to go through the exercise to think about what it is you want to accomplish, dream big.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up, because I start this next question off to you on that. Coming back to goals, I mean, I have big goals. We all have big goals, but at some point, it's like there's a fine line. When do you say, you know what, I'm just not going to be able to accomplish that goal and give up? Or do you just keep fighting to attain that goal? I mean, I'll start with you on this. When do you've had some big goals. When do you say, you know what, this is probably not going to happen, and throw the towel in? Or does that ever happen?
If you're if you are really committed to your goals, don't ever give up. I mean, some of these properties that I've purchased that we talked about earlier, you know, it took me 20, 30 times to get approved for financing. These were really creative deals. Had I given up on the first no or second no, would have never happened. However, I've had some other goals, personal goals, and your lifestyles, your situation changes. And if it's no longer important to you, there's nothing wrong with saying, that's not important to me anymore, and it goes by the wayside, and you pursue another goal. But if you have a goal, don't give up on it.
All right, so this, you don't never throw in the towel then?
I agree, and in addition to that, I guess it depends on how people set goals, because I see some people, they'll shoot for, I'm going to make $1 million with this particular product, and the product it wasn't priced right, it doesn't have the right market, and there's a million things that are going to make that not work. They should not have that should not be the goal. So it's not whether you throw the towel in, it's the way that you set your goals. You have to be careful. I'm going to make $1 million via taking...
That's not realistic.
Yeah, you can't do that. So, you know, not throwing the towel in, but being able to pick out what were the good attributes of this particular venture, what were the bad attributes. I'm going to continue to run with these particular good attributes.
Set the goal in stages. Like you made a good point there. Yeah, I'm not going to make $1 million next week, but how can I make it? Set it up in stages, obtainable goals.
Yeah, absolutely, and just take the positive with you from every single goal. I mean, it's easy for people to give up, but just they have to find the good pieces they can take to the next project.
Right. If I can just interject too, I think a lot of people set short-term goals. We want to be millionaires overnight. We want to be able to have 3% body fat in 6 months.
Right.
And you really need to realize that there's a timeline to achieve a goal, and it's like watering a plant. You know, it doesn't. When I was in 3rd grade, you get a little Dixie cup with dirt, and where is it? Where is it? You water it every day. It'll sprout eventually, but you just have to have faith.
Well, the big thing is being around people, though, and I'm a big believer in this, is being around people that have a positive environment. People that are not going to make fun of your goals. And I know you...
I love it when they do, actually.
Really?
Yeah,
it drives me.
It's fun.
The best thing you can do is tell me I can't do something.
I enjoy that, actually.
I'll prove you wrong.
Really?
Yeah, it's kind of in football, we tell our kids, you know, don't hit the player, run through them. If you tell me I can't, I'm going to run through it. I'm not just going to hit it. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, which is funny, and you can tell the story later on, but weren't you told that you told people before a big fight, I can't remember who the fighter was, like Hagler Hearns or something like that,
it's a funny story.
you were going to go up on stage and actually be there in the fight afterwards, and you half your body ended up being on Sports Illustrated with the fight.
I believe anything is possible. I really do. I mean, aside from genetics, you know, I'll never be a forward for the NBA for a basketball team. But I believe that anything is possible. What the mind can believe and conceive, you know, it's an acronym, but it can truly achieve. The body can achieve.
And we're going to come back to that in a few seconds here. Before we go to when we come back from the break, what I want to talk about is really dive into the millionaire mentality. Because, you know, let's be honest, nowadays in this economy, anybody can become a millionaire. Back in the 20s and 30s, it would be tough, but nowadays you can. So when we come back, I want to really talk about that and a quote that you told me one time that was pretty powerful. We'll be back in 2 minutes.